Hello, welcome to Saman Melly's kitchen. Today I'm going to make bruschetta. It is an Italian snack which you need only very simple ingredients like what I have here: onions, tomatoes, bit of garlic, basil, parsley, and then the bread. You need the bread, crusty bread, and then olive oil, a good balsamic vinegar if you have. If you don't have, even it doesn't matter, and salt, and to finish it off, to garnish, some shaved Parmesan cheese. So I will show you how it is. There's no cooking involved in this snack. It's only you have to do only prepping, just cutting up the vegetables like the tomatoes and the onions. So I will do that first, and then I will show you how to cut the bread. So I'm going to chop the onion now. I will we'll chop 1/2 and see whether this is enough. It is not a fine dice that we need for the bruschetta. You need the texture of the onion. So this is how the dice should look like, the onion after dicing. I will put it into the bowl now. I'm slicing the garlic first, and then I will do a fine dice for the garlic. If the garlic cloves are like big, you can use only 2. You don't need to use 3 garlic cloves. This is how it should look like, a fine dice. So I'm going to dice the tomatoes now. It's not a fine dice that we need for the bruschetta. It should be a chunky, like a chunky cut. So, but like a bite size actually. So this sort of tomato I cut into 4. So let's see how I will cut it. So you can do it in different shapes also. You can cut it into 3 like this also, like that. There is no specific way, or so we'll cut the red ones like this, and then the yellow ones we can cut it the lengthwise. You can use normal tomatoes. You don't need to use cherry tomatoes, but I like to use the cherry tomatoes. When you're using the normal tomatoes, cut it into chunks. But then again, like how I said, bite size it should be. When you're making bruschetta. It is the colors that you get attracted to. The colors should be nice. Because we are using red onions and basil leaves, parsley and the red tomatoes, it gives a nice look. Now I'm chopping the parsley. That we can chop finely. So I'm going to add the basil leaves. If you think the basil leaves are small in size, you can just put it as it is. But I like to tear them and add it into the bruschetta. So and I don't slice actually the basil leaves because it gets bruised. You can tear it into even 3 pieces, like into 3, like that even. If you think they are too big, you can again tear them. Now I'm going to add a little bit of salt. Just that is also according to your taste. I'm just putting about half a teaspoon. And some olive oil. So it should be extra virgin olive oil for the bruschetta. So add enough olive oil to coat the vegetable, the tomatoes, because it needs to be coated properly. So we'll see. So this amount of olive oil should be added. You all can see. So it should be well coated. So at this stage, you taste and see whether you need to add any more salt. And I'm going to, for me, it is all good. No need of any more salt. But if you need, you add more salt. Now I'm going to cling wrap this and put it in the fridge for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then later I will drizzle in the balsamic vinegar. So while this is in the fridge, I'm going to slice the bread and toast it. The bread that we choose for a bruschetta should be a crusty bread. And I will show you how I slice, but you all can slice the way you want. It can be a straight cut or angle cut. I do an angle cut, and it has to be thick, not thin slices. So I will toast the bread now. So the reason I told you that you can cut it, the bread in 2 ways, the straight cut or the angle one, because sometimes your toaster might not hold the bread if it's cut in an angle. But the straight cut, definitely it will hold. But so sometimes I find it difficult, when it's cut in an angle, though I like the shape. If you can fit it in, that's good. That we toast the bread for bruschetta is because the mixture is very liquidy because of the olive oil and the tomatoes. So when you toast the bread, it gives a crust in the middle. And also don't use the toasted bread straight away to put the mixture on top of the toast, because you have to let it rest for a couple of minutes. It's better, then it gets a bit harder than what it comes out from the toast also. So I will show you. I will rest it for about 5-6 minutes and then put the mixture on top. Toasted the bread and let it cool for 5 to 6 minutes. I have just taken the mixture out of the fridge, and now we will put it on the bread, and I will show you how to assemble it. So before you assemble, just look for the on the bread which side you would like to put the mixture onto, because sometimes it will be a little wonky also, the bread, maybe you have not cut properly, or it will slide off from the bread, the mixture. So just make sure that everything is okay, and then you can just assemble. So try to get all the, if you're using cherry tomatoes, different colors, try to use all the colors when you're putting it on the toast. So we should have a little bit of everything. It's a little messy when you go to eat a bruschetta, but it has so much of flavor, and messiness doesn't count at that moment, I'm going to add the Parmesan cheese. So I have the flaked Parmesan cheese and also the shredded one. So I will use both actually. So when you add in the flakes, like flaked Parmesan cheese, don't go to cover the bruschetta, the tomatoes, with the cheese a lot. So I arranged the bruschetta onto a platter. Now I'm going to drizzle the balsamic vinegar. So at home I don't have a squeezy bottle or anything like that. So I use a teaspoon just to drizzle the balsamic vinegar, and it doesn't sort of come out like every time. Sometimes it can be messy also, but I use only a little bit. So that's it. There are no measurements for these like when you're adding the balsamic vinegar or the cheese or the olive oil, but This is how I make the bruschetta, and you can have it for lunch, and for it's a vegetarian option also. For whoever is vegetarian can have this snack. So hope you guys enjoy this snack.